Hello, I'm Curry with Gorilla Games, and I just wanted to do a side-by-side comparison for Micro Disturblings, so you guys knew what you were getting into when you checked it out. All right, so first things first, this here is Disturblings. This here is Micro Disturblings. As you see, there is a very big difference in the package size. Disturblings itself isn't that large, which goes to show how much smaller Micro Disturblings actually is. It will even fit in the Disturblings box. So if you're not already aware, Micro Disturblings is a standalone game, but it will also double as a expansion to Disturblings. I am very excited about that. I was very excited to get essentially the same game in such a small package. And so this here is a Disturbling card for the larger game. This here is a Micro Disturbling. And all of the cards in Micro Disturbling are on these micro cards. And what you'll get is essentially the same game. Well, it all plays exactly the same. However, I did change colors so words would pop a little better, and I did change the font on the micro cards so it would be more legible. But aside from that, gameplay is the same. Now, as far as components that may be missing, Micro Disturblings does not have shadow cards as of yet. And Micro Disturblings does not have this behead card. And if you're not familiar with the behead card, in stage 4, when you're forming the monstrosity, you would add the behead card, and it's an extra way of defeating the boss monstrosity. So Micro Disturblings doesn't have shadow cards or the behead card. However, Micro Disturblings comes with an incubator card. And so when you're playing Micro Disturblings, you can you need to hurry up, because that incubator, the longer it incubates, the more likely it'll be to burst and more Disturblings will enter the game, making your job a little bit tougher. But, you know, with your copy of Micro Disturblings, you get new chance cards that you can mix and match with the larger version. You get 6 new items, which you can match with the larger version. And you get more enemies. So you are getting a lot of new stuff. It's not just duplicates of what's already in the bigger game. I tried very hard to justify its existence by giving it new components. So if you only have one of the games, perfect, fine. It's great on its own. But if you have both, it's even better, because now you're mix and matching all the awesomeness, and I'm very excited how that turned out. But aside from that, as I said, the gameplay is almost essentially the same. However, the playmat and the instructions for Micro Disturblings is a digital downloadable file that you'll need to print. I know that's not a likely scenario to most gamers out there, but I simply could not fit all of that stuff in the box. It's just too small. And the playmat itself is optional. It's not actually needed. It's just a visual that makes everything pop better. But the instructions, the playmat, they need to be downloadable and printed, but I made sure to stick even more downloadable files, coloring pages, activities, things of that nature in there, just so if you're at the library or at home printing, you get a little bit of extra bang for your buck. So the biggest difference from Micro Disturblings and Disturblings is that during stage 4, of the larger Disturblings game, the game area will open up to 6 cards. And that's because you go from using the larger enemy cards to using the back of the item cards, because acid rain is coming, or acid spit is coming down at you. So there's more room in this area. In Micro Disturblings, you're already using these smaller cards, so your space doesn't open up. You still only have room for 3 cards across it. So in the larger game, during stage 4, you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 spaces of acid spit coming down at you. In Micro Disturblings, you'll only have 3. That is the biggest change, aside from not having shadow cards and a behead card. But those 2 things are not essential to the gameplay. They were actually added very late in the design. And shadow cards are just a way of randomizing the beginning of the setup, the beginning of the game. Behead cards are just a fun new way of defeating the boss card. But even with that said, or I'm sorry, of defeating the boss monstrosity. But even with that said, I do plan on having a Micro Disturblings expansion coming out here in 3 or 4 months that will introduce the shadow cards, a behead card, new items, new chance cards, new enemies, pretty much everything that an expansion should do. And as of now, this isn't the official container, but as of now, I'm planning on having that expansion come in a Mint 10 so that you can package Micro Disturblings in a Mint 10 if you choose to. And I will also have a 9x18 foldable game board for it. So far, so good. Everything is shaping up really well. I just haven't gotten my printed prototypes yet to confirm that everything's working the way I want it to. But aside from that, this is Micro Disturblings. I am Curry with Guerrilla Games. I hope you enjoy. If you want to see very short how to play videos, head over to my website at arcurry.com.